Спасибо, Миша.
Thanks, Mikhail. Hi, everybody. Today, you've heard many interesting stories and cases of how to build a safe architecture. And I want to share how far you can test this architecture. My name is Dmitry. I'm the CISO of the Innostage company, the first IB integrator, and we've done cyber testing. First of all, let's try to understand what cyber testing is all about. You know that there is a bug bounty, of course. Bug bounty when a developer of a certain software product or service is offering researchers remuneration for finding any vulnerabilities in the service. Cyber testing is somewhat along these lines, but the object of the testing is not a software or a service, but the whole infrastructure. And the open cyber testing, that means that anybody can come in and try to test it if you accept, the rules of the program. But again, we are going to go back to the program. We're going to share about that. A question, like why? Because why so difficult? We used to have pen tests and audits. So what else do you need? There is something different, and I guess the big difference is timelines. Audits and pen tests, they have a limited time frame. Cyber testing usually they'll usually go for half a year, or they could be endless, basically. When you do audit, you can use some automated scanning methodology. This is the different expertise. This is a live expertise and a live researcher. The same with pen testers, guys, but the pen test teams, they're always limited by number and they're limited by their competencies. Whereas in cyber testing, there's a limited number of people could take part in it. And so this is like an endless sort of expertise. Pen tests and audits always about limitation in terms of scope, while cyber testing is the whole infrastructure, man. And it's about like what works best. When you do audit and pen tests, basically we're paying for a report. Even we don't know what will be in the report, the problems will be found or not, you're going to get a report and then off you go. Cyber testing assumes that you are giving money only for some vulnerabilities that have been found. Yeah, it's obvious, but you cannot compare it like one-to-one, because cyber testing is simply like one of the ways, and for each target there is a certain instrument. Cyber testing is just one of the tools, but it's a most, should I say, comprehensive. Yeah, so that's a good thing, but why do we need it? So some researchers will come and possibly they're going to, disbalance infrastructure. Somebody's going to learn about that, and usually we hide this information. Once before the testing, I had a dialogue with a vendor, and he said that this idea is being bold to the point of being stupid. That looks like that, but we exactly knew why we needed it. We needed to make sure that we're cyber resistant. If we have some weak spots, we want to identify them, that we are ready for cyber attacks, that if this kind of attacks will happen, our business is going to endure and will continue to operate. The second situation, we position ourselves as provider of the cyber resistance, so we gotta be sure that methods and tools we're offering to our clients and customers are efficient and they do work. This also applies to our methodology, where we collected our best experience and also analytical tools and responding to real attacks. And again, as an integrator, we deal with clients' data. There is no way around it, right? We get some sensitive data, and also our pros have to plug into the customer's infrastructure to make sure that their data are safe with us, and we are not going to become the point of entry for the criminals. So this transparency is trust building for our partners. An experience we're getting, we consolidate it and we share it into the public field like we do right now. We know it's not gonna be easy, that serious and competent guys are going to come over, and this is going to be like a very serious standoff. We need to get ready for that. you can take different classy and great and expensive tools, like in the left part of this slide, but they will not guarantee a full protection unless you will have the basic infrastructure safe. Without segmentation, without hardening, in the large sense of this word, I mean, talking about different politics and information credentials and paroles and minimizing privileges and disconnecting unused protocols, unless all of this will be fully operational. And also, if people who are working in this infrastructure and with this infrastructure will be untrained, I'm not only talking about the staff, but also employees who have to learn how to, identify phishing, to respond to phishing, to send it, and also the operational, people, the IT guys have to know their stuff, and InfoSec guys have to know their stuff, and these teams have to be very cohesive. You cannot do it on paper, you can do it only in practice. And so we are facing this dilemma to make the safe basic information, top it up with the monitoring systems, and at the same time train people. And we had 9 months to do all of that. I have to note that, yeah, of course, we did not start from scratch because we had some safety tools and policies and segmentation, but we've chosen the zero trust to ourselves. We decided we did not believe what was written before, what our paper says. We go and we dig like from zero. And lesson number one, if you're going to follow the same path, and we believe that it's a right path, you are doomed to be surprised and sometimes to have like a big shake-up of how your infrastructure is, working. As far as we've learned that sometimes our networks are not according to the documentation. Yes, we do have hardening, right? But sometimes it is not where it should be, and where it should be, it is not there, or not in the right shape and form. Next, processes. Our processes sometimes they're not as they have been idealized on the paper. No problem. The lesson learned, we fixed all of that. And ready to go. We're going to formulate this kind of unacceptable event, unauthorized event, the remuneration. The bounty was chosen, the site was chosen where this program is going to be published in researchers, and then they are providing the report. So the program has been published, the special button, like launch it. Boom, we are at cyber testing. What could go wrong? In the first day, 24 hours, our platform identified that our website was not accessible. SM platform is like a tool, for monitoring and managing the attack surface. And so it says the website is not accessible. Little digression. Our website has been alienated from the infrastructure. It is not connected with any business systems. It does not impact to any business processes. It's hosted on a separate thing. It's not the most important asset, Our approach was, okay, it's on website, and if something is wrong with it, we just have to see it, fast, and to return it to the normal condition. So the website was not accessible. Then after some time, we get a letter from hosting. It says that, I'm sorry, but your website is experiencing DDoS attack. We decided to simply calm down your website so that other services would not be affected. We began to dig into that, looked at the logs. It was not DDoS, DDoS like we envisioned that, like a huge amount of traffic. No, it was simply quite a big number of scanners. They decided to try our website to find some vulnerabilities in it. In our program of cyber testing, we have formulated like the message for researchers: guys, try to be creative, use OSINT methodology to try to be able to find assets of the company, and then try to do the research. We were confident that having found the website and having seen that it was like a very popular hosting, they'll give up the website. We were wrong. Lesson number 2. If there is a chance, even the smallest chance, that your cyber testing can affect somebody, think about it beforehand and write down limitations in the program. Yeah, so we dealt with this problem. Researchers came to our perimeter. We began to feel very big activity. We feel it even today, even now. I could show you the horrible numbers about tens of thousands of attacks and blocked, sources, you name it. But it's very boring. You would be interested. Next lesson I want to give you. Wi-Fi. It's also part of the network perimeter. A corporate Wi-Fi. Guest zone, corporate zone. In a corporate zone, you can connect only with a corporate device, authentication, certificates, all the best stuff. Now watch carefully. One of employees decides that he needs to connect not to the guest network, but to the corporate network from the personal device. I mean, he takes a device, he chooses the network, click, 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 and it says, the device is saying, authorize yourself, please. So he's, login and password he enters, and of course, he is not able to connect. He tries several times, no way. And he forgets about that. After a short while, researchers identify the address of one of the offices. They come over here and do this attack like evil double body. Evil double body is basically that you scan Wi-Fi network, you find the target, and you make exact copy. The goal of this attack is to make legitimate users to authorize your hotspot to give their credentials. And of course, with this kind of Wi-Fi, it does not work. But this guy with the same device was in the office, and this device remembered, and he saw the point of access which accepted these credentials. So researcher got the login and password and could not use it because the services on the perimeters, like not so many services, but we have them. We have like a multi-factor authentication. No impact. The conclusion: you cannot make provisions for everything. You cannot foresee, but now we know, and you know that this could happen like that.
Не так давно читал исследование, где описывалось, что среди ЦИСа сохраняется тренд на эшелонированность. Я считаю, что эшелонированность — это не тренд, это база. Она всегда должна быть.
Not a trend, it's a basis, it's a foundation. And my colleagues have been confirming to this fact today. And the final story, it's about people. We have to train people. We've had to train people that do not use your personal devices for corporate Wi-Fi. And in the future, like always, we have to add some new things that we are learning in the process of our work, like this one. And since we are talking about people, a little stats for you. Stats and facts. In 1 year of cyber testing, we see that whenever you cannot breach the equipment, hackers and researchers, they go and try to breach people, so to speak. Global Stats on Phishing says that for each untrained employee, the success of phishing attack is 30%. So out of 100 letters, in 30% people will follow the link and launch it. If you train these people, then indicator goes down to 3%. It's also global stats. And this is confirmed by our pen testers. We've attained 1.3% indicator. This is like great. How did we do it? We did a lot of training. Lots of training. And this, of course, sometimes, gives some unintended consequences, but I'll explain. Well, in the beginning of cyber testing, we would get phishing letters by thousands. Now, we get them about 700 a week. At the same time, if you look at the right graph, we can see that there are more unique topics. What do I mean by that, unique topics? It means that the phishing is becoming more and more targeted. It's not just it's like more specific, more narrow. It's harder to detect. You need more time to respond, and the hard chance to be compromised.
То есть, если хорошая, продуманная фишинговая атака, и пользователь
If the phishing attack is well thought out and the user is not prepared and won't be able to identify it, is going to take it, he or she may become the threat to the whole infrastructure. And by the way, we've made the only payment for this. It was like a nice and beautiful, well-prepared phishing attack with bypassing the second factor due to automation. It was beautifully made, but our soft proved to be faster, and they weren't able to persist. You can read about this in our blog on the Hub.
То есть человеческий фактор.
So it's a human factor, it's a human error that is with us, and surprise, surprise, this human error can actually work both ways. Like, there was autumn, there was a great day, one of our partners had sent us a sample of letters, supposedly from us, sent by us. In this email, there is no any phishing links, no attachments, and also if you try to renew it, look, it's some kind of senseless message, We thought that this may be a mistake by research. Nevertheless, we took note of it, and all of our clients and customers have received immediately notification about this message and indicators of a compromise, and also recommendations of how to fine-tune the mail service so that they would never get spammed like that again, and also informed the hosting where it was deployed to shut it down. Now, the question for you, do you have actual list of emails and templates for this kind of operational communication with your partners, with your correspondence? It's all part of preparation. Now, a couple words about what may happen when a company is not prepared for cyber attacks. In the first quarter of this year, 2025, a couple of funds have given the grant for the express cyber test for 100 companies from different areas. The goal of this was increase security of the companies and developing the culture of white hat hackers, white hats. And with their permission, I would like to give you some stats. Over 50% of companies were hacked or breached. 70% of those breaches were implemented due to simple vulnerabilities. You did not have to do some kind of heavy expertise. And the worst thing, the average time was like 2.5 hours per breach. You can come to your own conclusions. The only thing I want to say is that on top of this, the cyber testing provides another side benefits that you can see the problems and see the scale and scope of the problem. So in a year of these cyber testings, we've had 1,000 of deflected attacks. We got huge expertise, 2 credentials that have been stolen, like I've said you, these 2 cases, no unauthorized events, and no interim result. Like, is that successful or not? For example, speaking of bug bounty, the program considered to be the more successful, the more money you've paid, the more successful it is, because we have cyber testing, but we even provider of cyber resistance at the same time. We wanted to find some vulnerabilities. On the other hand, we wanted to double check and make sure that we can build cyber resistance. And we think this is a success. Both boxes have been checked. What else does it take to have a successful cyber testing? Preparation, which I've mentioned a lot. You gotta be ready, your infrastructure, your people who are part of this infrastructure and serving it, and these people should have scenarios for as many cases as possible, and these scenarios have to be adapted. For unprepared structures, probably there are some easier ways to make sure that they may have a problem. And cyber testing, it's for the very mature information security. The second case is researchers themselves. They have to be motivated. Your cyber testing program should be like relevant to them as well. If you want to identify very serious vulnerability problems, you have to attract serious guys. You have to have a very big bounty. I mean, good bounty for them. And secondly, this program should be adaptive. Because if on your side there will be, higher targets, but the remuneration will be the same, of course, people will focus on lighter targets to get the money, to get a quick buck. So search for new programs, new software, for the number of researchers which are part of your program, and depending on that, you can update your program, add new events, unauthorized events, and maybe some interim goals, so that researchers will be motivated and interested in working with you. And basically, we have to learn. We have to learn based on these researches and draw your lessons. We've learned our lessons. We're sharing these lessons with you. And our cyber testing continues. You can stay in touch. It's going to be interesting. And also, today, we've increased the bounty. We doubled it. We're willing to pay 20 million Russian rubles for implementing an unauthorized event. Questions?
Очень интересно. Наблюдали за вашим проектом.
That's very interesting indeed. My name is Valery from the city of Kazan. When Red Team is coming, usually we discuss the limits of possible impact with them. You mentioned about people, and you mentioned about the second part. There's also physical penetration and physical impact, both on humans and also for the infrastructure. Did you have in your testing, did you have any attempts like that? And if yes, what are the stats for these kind of intrusions? In our testing program, we are limiting impact by the physical impact on people too. It's specially prescribed that limitation. We've limited it because we cared about our employees, and we've limited the possibility of hunting for their personal accounts. As for the physical access, like I said, some of the colleagues came to one of our offices to work with Wi-Fi, and it's a control though. You mean beyond control though? No. Nobody tried to get into the control zone. It was beyond the control zone. It's a very delicate thing in terms of criminal code. So you decided not to push it. It's a story about two American pen testers, and they were doing pen tests, and then they were caught, and they were trying to explain that they're legitimate pen testers. No, we didn't have that, but we have had a story. One of the team, the whole research team, they were going to research our Wi-Fi. They asked for authorization letter in which it would be written that they are allowed to do that, to point in their personal data in case they'll be caught, in case some kind of special forces will come, that they could get a paper, we have a document allowing us to do just that, but it didn't get to it. Yeah, because you want to have like a full check, physical security, and from the legal side. Yeah, you got to cover it from the legal side too, just to be on the safe side. Yeah, there is somebody with a mic right behind you. Hi, this is my question. You said that over 9 months you've been doing cyber testing. Do you have any effect, like the mistake of the survivor, so to say, that ethical hackers are not interested anymore? That there is a first wave, there's a first month, and then the hype subsides, and there is no point to continue. People are not interested anymore. because it should be evolving, to be reloaded or relaunched in a new season. Because that's strange. The whole 9 months you're running this cyber testing, because here at the standoff, a lot of people are being posting, and like you said, the guys, they gave it like $100 million. They're collecting million here, million there. Why would they stick with you? How do you confront that? How do you make sure that your tests are valid, that you're doing the right thing, if the wave is going back and people aren't interested anymore?
Если вы следили за нашей программой,
Good question. If you've been following our program,
рождение было 5
in the beginning we had 5
Потом оно выросло
millions,
вдвое.
then
Потом
it
добавились промежуточные
doubled,
еще цели, которые
then we
более
had intermediate goals, lighter ones. Now
вознаграждение увеличилось еще.
it has been
При
increased
этом
once again.
в ходе кибериспытаний мы же отслеживаем
And during the cyber tests, we look at the statistics of
это
the
количество
participants,
постоянно растет.
and this number is continuously growing.
Атаки. Как будто бы это всё
And
говорит о
our
том, что
SOC
интерес
sees
проходит.
attacks, which
Естественно,
shows that there is an
интенсивность
interest, and of
снижается.
course
И
the
вот как раз
intensity is
мы пытаемся это
dropping,
регулировать, и это
and we are
получается
trying to
за счет как раз
regulate it,
тех вот методов,
and it
о которых я
happens
говорил
by
в последнем слайде.
those methods that I was speaking about in previous slide. Thank you.
Коллеги, вот еще в самом конце
Dear
вот вопрос.
colleagues, in the very end, well, there's a question out there.
Не надо.
На самом деле очень интересно. Спасибо за рассказ.
Honestly, it is very interesting. Thank you very much for your story. I was interested that you were saying about 1.3% of successful phishing, while one case when realistically login password pair was stolen,
Так все-таки 1,3%.
and letters are coming in thousands, so 3% or flickers of percentage. When attacks were coming, 4,000
месяц, потом сейчас 700.
letters a month. Right now it's 500.
Что вы считаете вот этим успешным фишингом, который
So what do you think this successful phishing, which achieves this 1.3%? Successful phishing is when the user have clicked.
При этом реальный случай был только один.
But there was a real case, you had only one case. I'm not speaking about the history with Wi-Fi. There was only one phishing when realistically they stole a login password and you had to pay the ransom. So it's not 1.3, it's much less than that.
Менее важное.
Нужно учитывать еще, что мы
You
же,
have to take into consideration the fact
не
that
смотрим, как нас
we
атакуют.
are
То есть, как
not
только мы фиксируем
looking
фишинг,
at
то
how
в
we are
работу
being
включается команда
broken in.
реагирования.
As we fix the
Происходят
phishing, we
различные
include the
блокировки,
reaction
кто
team, we
перешел
do
по
different
ссылкам,
blockages,
оперативная блокировка их, учет и так далее.
who follow the list,
1,3,
blockage of their
отвечая на
accounts.
ваш вопрос,
1.3,
это количество людей,
answering your
которые
question,
перейдут.
is the number of people
Вот так вот, да,
who
максимально
follow
точно.
the link.
Понятно. Спасибо вам.
Okay, get it. Thank you.